Is it this one? It is this one. Good? Cool. Something like that. Does it not have it? Oh, it's the wrong side. There we go. What's up? I have a car coming in like 15 minutes. So I figured I'd get this set up. Headphones. Let's get this open. Sources. Good morning. That works. Does this work? Cool. All right, I'm gonna jump on things. Spray tank. Let's do spray tank first.
Hi, good morning.
Spray tank.
Said hi.
There's power. This way? This way? Oh, there's delay. That always makes it confusing. Are you renting? Yeah. Yeah, this is just a unit. What's up, Mr. Clean?
Hello. Tie letter E28, tie letter E27, tie letter E31,
Why is this one? Why
tie
is this
letter
one lag
E28,
behind?
tie letter
I don't
E14,
know.
tie letter E35, bro.
It should be working. Yeah, I got a Taurus coming in today. Like the good one. The 2012 good one. I miss doing them. I think we're doing everything without a windshield. I never know why this one. Let's see. I close this. And reopen. Activate. Select. Yeah, that's all fine. This one? It should be. This app, I swear, this app loves to be closed and then reopen for no good reason.
Is here.
Looks good. You guys staying busy? I got a bunch of people messaging me this morning. It's a Saturday.
Said hi.
But if you're looking for Saturday, on a Saturday, no. That's difficult.
Where did you get your pill board set up at?
Where did you get that peel board? I need to know why this doesn't want to work at first. Is it like trying to connect to something else? So these, there we go. Okay, so these peel boards, this is all custom. This is just a crazy idea. I looked at cabinets and stuff for too long, and I was like, I wonder if you could mount glass boards on the front of cabinets. So it's really simple though. So you just get a barn door set, and then you hang the glass board off of it. But this is like custom for this. This is such a big piece of glass. It's, I don't know, it's like 7 feet tall. So, or 72 inches tall or something like that. 36 inches wide. And so they said it had to be at least like 1/4 of an inch thick to do that, and tempered. So like both of them was like $2,500 to do like the glass boards. Completely unnecessary for a glass board. But it was one of those things where I was like, I was going all out with trying to dress it up and have some fun with it. So I was like, let's do it. What's your go-to slip solution? Tint slip. So in a 3-gallon keg, I'll do 3 ounces worth of slip. So you see this little cap here? When I squeeze this bottle, it fills up. And so that's going to be an ounce. Ounces on one side, milliliters on the other. How'd you make the barn door rolling part so long? They string together really easily. So we bought a few different kits. So these are actually 2 kits. And then you take off the cap and they'll fit together. So to prevent the glass from running into itself or into each other, we put stoppers here. So these don't go past here. I'm probably gonna remove them. Dang, spammers. I'm probably gonna remove them. But there's just people got to be careful. And like one of the other unintended side effects too that you got to be careful about is drawers. So you're taking your glass board, you don't notice that your drawer is open. So you just got to be careful with them. And you'll notice this bumper. We had to have a like 1-inch bumper off the bottom because this type of glass setup is supposed to go into like a channel along the floor, but we didn't want to do that, so we basically just stuck a 1-inch bumper that it basically rides across. So it works really well. I just have to re-stick this again because I would step there and eventually it kind of like peeled off. So, but that's been after like a year. Would you like more viewers? No, I don't care. It does look clean, doesn't it? Okay, let me finish up my keg. We should have a customer coming in any minute now. So we got slip solution in here. I put 2 ounces. We're gonna add a little bit more. I didn't fill it up as much as I usually do because we're just doing a Taurus. There's the cap. And shake, shake, shake. And then we'll pressurize it. The glass doors are just peel boards. So if you're cutting off of a plotter, they're handy, or you just want to trim your corners and sides and stuff, they're just a cut surface. So what I might do eventually is like I could take these and I could run them all the way across. The cabinets are like perfectly straight, so it all lines up. So I could run a bar all the way across and just put it in front of the plotter. your poopy smells. That's probably a good thing. Okay, so this is good. I remember these days, used to carry this around. I do window tinting here. So I'm gonna hook these up. This is my reels. And we got spray. We got flow, dog. We got flow. What is, in your opinion, the best type of tint? The best type of tint is going to be ceramic. Can you give us a little shop tour? Sure. Till my customer shows up. It's not, I mean, it's a good sized space. It's 4,000 square feet. But this is our showroom area. So shortly, I will just be going over different films. Little waiting table, we have a TV. Chairs, nice and open. This is where we do all the order fulfillment. So tools, packaging. Tin tools don't take up a lot of space, just like individual things. But upstairs is where we keep the bulk of all the extra inventory. There's a bunch of shelves and boxes and supplies and stuff up there. So we had that built in March of last year. And then the rest of it's just nice and open. Oh, customer's here. Hello. All right, I'll be back just a sec. Are we good? All right. Headphones like to disconnect.
Very big your space. How much is the rent?
Hey, how you doing? Good. We're doing all sections around.
Said hi. Good morning from Argentina. Said hi. What is this? Cleaning carpets. No window tinting. Hi from Canada. Well, how do you make a voice speak? Ike bro. They tint cars. Said hi. Yes. Windows. Saludos. Hi from California. Yes, bro. Love. By passing air through my vocal cords. Window tinting. I hear a voice reading all texts. So this whole setup is just to tint windows. Me too, man. Biobs. Yes. I didn't know it was that serious. What an amazing shop. Okay, dude, he probably gets more than one car with a few employees working during work week. Hey, said Bilba. Big money in window tinting. Passing gas. Biobs.
Oops. Okay. So, I'm gonna pull this in. Why do my air bubbles get longer when I heat shrink them? I don't know. You can, they can just run. A little hard to explain though. Maybe we could do one on a door though. And we still gotta manually open the door. What's with all the questions? Why not ask as many questions as you want? That's the point. It's only window tint. I love these cars. It's a 2012 Taurus. The 2012 model range Taurus. One of the best cars to tint. They're so straightforward. I love these ones. I mean, it's got a little bit. It's got a little bit. That's fine. That'll buff out. That's no worries about that one. Was it the show? I don't think so. I like the show. The show was cool. Yeah, on the show, didn't they put like a double? Is it like a double supercharger in that one? Something like that? What other car do you like tinting? Malibus. Malibus are really straightforward. I just did a Fusion. Like probably top 3 cars. So not trucks. I know everybody likes tinting F-150s, but Malibu, Taurus, and Fusion, I think. Those were the most popular ones that we would get. We would just get a lot of them. They're so straightforward. So we're gonna tape these off. Why did I only like half roll this one down? It's a couch on wheels. Here, let me get my other one. F-150s are not my favorite. What's wrong with an F-150? Okay. We'll try one of these numbers today. We should be able to get a second one going. And then if I push like, which button was it? This one? No, this one. This should be this camera then. Hey, that's fun. Then we can pop back and forth. It'll be good view. I don't know why I stopped rolling the windows down, but let's fix that. We got window tinting pop before GTA 6. Yes. So I got my F350 windows tinted Thursday. They said wait 2 days before rolling them down. I paid for the best ceramic because it's safe to roll them down after 2. It should be perfectly fine to roll them down. And it shouldn't be your problem if they peel, especially going by their guidelines. So if they only told you 2 days, then I'd only wait 2 days. Like, people get unnecessarily worked up about that type of thing. Good films will dry out fairly quickly. Just stick to whatever the shop tells you. And a good shop should not blame the customer if a window peels. It just helps during the curing process because when the window is fresh, like it's still drying out. But a good installed film, you should be able to roll it down immediately and it be perfectly fine. What cars don't you like tinting? Old cars. And difficult ones. Your typical range of like Audis and BMWs. I paid almost $1,000 for a crew cab, so I'm just making sure. Yep, I respect it. And so what I tell all my customers is the same type of thing. A couple days in the fall, like 3 to 5, and don't worry if you have any issues, we'll take care of it. And for a little bit, I would say, oh, just wait till tomorrow. And so many people would be like, well, I just want to be sure, so I'll wait a week. You literally could not tell people that they can roll them down immediately. Like, your average person is like that. So my typical guidelines are that because people are overly cautious. Why did you tape? The sides are dirty. So we're throwing some tape over the sides, so then I don't have to worry about, you see all this stuff? I'll just tape the sides and then I don't have to worry about it. Like when you're painting a wall and you don't want to bleed paint onto the next wall, right? You tape it off. So this is effectively covering the dirt along the side edges, and then I just don't have to worry about it. Just keeps the sides clean. You still could have a dirty install. It's not like a foolproof thing. But I mean, these are rubber seals, but you see all that? See all this shit? Look at that. Gross. Yeah, we don't want contamination. I used to do a lot of cars that look like this. Cars clean up fairly quickly, or glass does. So everything else that's in here, dude, I don't care. It's not getting in my way. It's not giving me a hard time. But there's a lot of people that like to blame that kind of stuff for like why their tint looks like shit. Yeah, some people don't realize that the tinters are rolling your windows up immediately. Or up or down. Yeah, because there might be a little air pocket or something that I have to get out. I'll roll the window down and get it out. I'll double check the bottom seal and just make sure that it's not gonna snag anything. So like I'll take some caution steps too. And it's not foolproof. If you're doing a really tight vehicle, like you have those, like a BMW seal on certain models, they like shear up against the window and they like try and peel stuff off. Yeah, it might not hold. You might have to for sure let that dry, but your average vehicle, you should be able to just roll your windows up and down immediately. That's not gonna hurt it. I'll see posts in our group. I'll see posts in the group. Somebody's window will peel after a month and be like, how could this happen? It's okay, it can happen. Why don't you put tape up in the top right corner? You can, it just takes longer and it's way more out of my way. So when I install my window, it's typically starting right about here because I'm gonna have it rolled down from the very top. So I'm not touching any of that. And then putting a little extra in here would be good, but I just have to create some more relief cuts in the tape to get it to hold in that area. So I just skip it. For me, it's mainly about the sides. I tinted for a long time without ever using tape. And tape seemed unnecessary. I started using it and I was like, oh shit, the right tape makes all the difference. My hands are gonna be dirty from this one, that's for sure. Do you ever take the seals out? For the most part, no. Very occasionally. Like we have a Lexus ES 250 coming in next week. That one, I believe on the front seals. Oh wait, no, we're doing ceramic on this one. And he wanted to go 15. That roll is like empty. 15, and then 5. We have a tape called Seal Guard. So this stuff right here. What's left on this roll? Oh, that's why it's in there. Because there's like a door window in here. Without a home. All right, so let's start. So we have our spray tank filled up. We have our door window prepped. We have our sprayer right here. Tape is a game changer for felt. Yes, especially felt. Felt's where it's really nice. On like your newer vehicles, you don't necessarily need to tape it. You can. If it's a new rubber seal, then no. I mean, yes, but you don't. It's only because I typically tape everything now. But on like your brand new clean seals, you're not really doing much by taping it. It's really when you see a little bit of trash building up. I still do. I still do to show just kind of the process of everything. But there's still a lot of guys that'll definitely tint without it. It just became a lot more socially acceptable. All right, so we're gonna take this, split it in half, flip this around. Layer them over each other. And then I'm gonna cover the whole window. Looks like we're gonna be pretty close on that edge. Nice, I like that. So we'll put it right about here. Make sure everything is overlapping, including up there. Good. And we're gonna tack this together. So I have to make one extra cut. So we're gonna trim off the bottom first. A lot of times I'll use a short roll and then line up the bottom edges together. But on this one, since it's a car, we can take a 36-inch roll, which saves us a little bit of film, and we split it in half. And then there's my flat edge right there on the bottom. So I'm gonna start with trimming here. Doesn't matter which side, just pick a side. And then we're gonna slide it over in that direction. On a Taurus, we got some room. So I could slide it over a good ½ inch. 10 cents in tape can save you $30 in film. Yeah, no kidding. 15 to 20 tint, good for night view. Yeah, definitely. Typically, the next step down from 20 or from 15, most, we were talking about it outside, most of them go straight down to 5. Some brands have a few extra filler shades, but it's less common for most film brands. Unfortunately, I think 30s and 10s should be way more popular than they are. Now we're going to roll this window down. Take our top edge knife here. And we're gonna make a cut. Ta-da! All right, now we go over the glass boards. Pros and cons of doing it inside versus outside. All tint is gonna go on the inside of the car. But if you watch start to finish, you'll see everybody start on the outside because we need patterns. And you're either gonna get that from a sorry, I do this where I like start listening to a comment and then forget what I was talking about. Everybody starts on the outside and it just gets sized and molded to fit the curve, and then it goes on the inside. That's like one of the most popular things that people ask. I need my chat. I should be working. Let's make sure. I put you guys on my watch. I use NT cutter blades. I felt they were a little sharper than Olfa, so I've been using them for a long time. It's been a while since I've done anything with Olfa. Both very good blades though. Both Japanese-made blades. NT cutter. Olfa just has the early brand on that one. But where are they? Yeah, this pack right here. So these are the stainless ones that we use. NT cutter, BA50SS. And then these are the ones that I use for the top edge, the BA54Bs. First car I ever tinted was a Taurus. You know what? Same here, but it was the rounded style. It was the older model, and I went to bash my head in. Me too. Oh, was it really? God, I hated the first ones. And then Ford. Dude, those were always kind of annoying to tint. Is that 15? You're right, Joey. Good job. You guessed it. What's the difference between normal tint and UV tint? So this is a ceramic film. This is gonna help block additional heat. Every film is gonna block UV, but the heat range is in IR. That's what you mostly feel. Couldn't you take out the door panel? I could also take out the engine, but I'm not gonna go to those lengths. It's a Taurus. Looks like you need practice. You can practice on my car. I appreciate the offer. I could use a little practice. You could pay for me to practice on it, though, if you want. You can pay for practice with 20% ceramic all the way around with the windshield. What do you think? All right, those are shrunk, ready to go. Do you stop heating till the fingers stop? With that way of shrinking, I'm less about fingers and more about creating this tension here at the bottom. So if you notice, I actually don't have any fingers or shrink marks that go straight up. It's just literally taking this part, heating it up until it tightens up to where you can do this. And see how that seals up all along the bottom? That's what I'm looking for. So that's shrunk, ready to go. Why do you put the water? Water helps with every bit of tinting. It helps clean the glass, the tension of it helps the film stick to the window so you can make nice clean cuts. And then it also helps you slide the film around when you're making cuts. Ooh, I need a new blade. Speaking of blades. Where do you get the plastic? Here. Here. 313 Tint. I have 5% around on my truck. It's 9 years old and faded. Need to redo the fronts again. What roll? It's a 15% ceramic film called C2 ceramic. It was a lifetime tint, but the company went out of business. Yeah, you know, there are, just a disclaimer, there's a lot of places that do that, where they say lifetime warranty. They give you a film at a really cheap price, and then they just go out of business. So now you have to pay to get it redone. So a lot of people will Like, we get in an argument about price. I try not to talk about it too much. But there's reasons why certain shops have their pricing is because they don't want to go out of business. And if you're tinting every car for $100, you're going to have a hard time staying in business. What's the difference between GeoShield C2 and Pro Nano Ceramic? So C2 ceramic is very similar, and it was brought in as an alternative to Pro Nano. So the biggest difference is going to be the coloring. Pro Nano is going to have a little bit better performance, but C2 has just better, more consistent coloring throughout the entire range. So a lot of people are adopting C2 ceramic over Pro Nano now. But Pro Nano's just been around for a long time. So they're not going to discontinue a line of film that they really like. But in 2020, there was a lot of supply chain issues. And so they brought it in as a way to have a product available, and then people kind of just fell in love with the film. So we'll wipe all this off. Do you do car wraps? No, because I spend all my time tinting. Thank you for the rose. Any concerns about scratching glass? No, not at all. So when you're cleaning, there's always spray on the windows that helps the blade slide. And you just use a low angle when you're scraping, so you're not damaging a window. But we had to take off a sticker, and then there's just general schmoo on this one. Wow, thank you for all the gifts. I appreciate it. I don't know what any of them mean, but thank you. Look at all that. Look at all that you send. There's a lot. Thank you. How would you recommend removing old tint? Use a steamer. Won't it ruin a defroster on a back window? It won't ruin a defroster on a back window if I don't use it on a back window. So when we go to clean a back window, we have a little bit of a different process. But the nice thing is that glass cleans up fairly easily, so we won't have to spend a lot of time cleaning it. Have you thought about meta glasses? I only get asked about it like 5 times every stream. Meta glasses don't stream. It would be cool if they did, though. I'm probably gonna get the Metavisions when I can put chat on it. Right now you can't. They're too limited. But if I can put chat on them, I absolutely will. Whoa, that's a big one. Holy shit. Am bam balam. You have a calming presence. This is aesthetically pleasing. $30, my God. Thank you, I appreciate that a lot. Do you file the top edge of the glass when it's a frameless window? Typically, no. Blading or filing is a really cool skill. Makes the film look nice. You can cut a really good edge, too. Is there a vehicle that doesn't require shrinking? Yeah, there's ones that people install, mainly when you don't, or when you pull the seal. So on this, you'll notice I'm taking my shank here, and I'm tucking my film into the bottom seal, so I don't have to remove it. When you install this way, water kind of holds in that seal, and that causes some fingers to pop up if you don't shrink anything. If you remove that, you can more evenly distribute the film. And in quite a few cases, you don't necessarily have to shrink it. But you still need to know how to shrink. My tint's like 15 years old. Do you think it's okay to keep on using? Yeah, absolutely. As long as it looks fine, it's fine. If it does what you need. So like in 15 years, films have definitely gotten better. But the main thing that they got better at is blocking heat. So if you're just happy with the film that you have, dude, keep it. Yeah, anytime film goes bad, you see how clean? You see how clean this edge is? Oof, it's so clean. I like it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah, that's especially true for window tint. Window tint will have very obvious signs. It's all aesthetics. So it'll bubble, it'll change color, it'll start peeling. Those are signs of failing tint. If it's not doing that, there's no reason to switch it. The water. So the water does go behind the seal, but, oh, we locked it on ourselves. The water goes behind the seal, and there's little drip drain holes at the bottom. So like, you see this gap here? When it rains, where's the water go? Oh no, it gets into my car. It goes throughout the drain holes. Every car's like that. Go look real close at yours. If it rains, water's absolutely getting inside your door. This is new. Why is this new? I swear we don't need a new. I'll use it, but if I got an open one, I don't want to open this one. That just gets confusing. How long have you been tinting? Since 2009. Trying to remember. 2008. It was 2008. It's open. That's what we wanted. Heavy box. See, I don't need two mostly open rolls. My rear window tint is bubbled. It's 18 years old. How can I get it off without damaging that? That's real old. Steamer's gonna be your best bet. Steamer and patience. All right, so we got a big old piece of film on here. And we're gonna cut it in half. And we're gonna cut out patterns at the same time. Spray that, flip this one around, put it over the other one. And then we're gonna lock these patterns together. Now we're gonna take our knife, we're gonna start here with the bottom. make a cut, tear, tear. Now we're gonna pick one side, doesn't matter which side, but we're gonna pinch in until we see that seal, take our knife, make that cut. Now when we made that cut, we only used this much blade. So we used the holder to push the tint against the seal, and then just the very tippy tip of the tip made the cut. Let me tear that away. Now we're gonna slide this over. See this rubber? Right about to the edge of that. We got space on the inside, so we're gonna drag this over about 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit more. So you see how the blade now looks a little rounded at the end? See that? So we're gonna snap that off. And now, see how it's nice and sharp? You wanna get used to doing that very frequently. Every few cuts is always making your knife dull out. So one thing that can scratch a window, not cut through film right, cause issues, dull blades. And we'll slide this back. So we have a little overlap on this side, now a little overlap on this side. See how we pulled it all the way over to here, and then we pulled it back. So then we could have a little overlap on this side too. So we have the same amount of overlap on both sides. And now we need to tuck this into the bottom, so we're just gonna drag this straight down. We don't need to go all the way down to the bottom of that trim. Really just like 1/4 to 1/2 inch typically, but I'll double check on the inside. I'm gonna just trim off some of this excess. We're gonna open our door. We're gonna roll the window down. Do you guys not use a plotter? We use plotters. I go back and forth on using them though. For about the last month, I was using a plotter on most cars. And the cars that we've been doing lately, it's just been hand cutting them. Okay, so to make this cut, remember with the silver knife, we used this much blade, right? Well, I want a little bit more blade out on this one because I want to rest the blade against the top edge of the window. Now, this blade can shimmy back and forth, so I want to make sure I push it against the top edge of the window. So that's going to hold the tint against the top edge and make a nice clean cut. So we use them both together. Blade holder holds the film against the top edge, and the blade itself does the cutting. I always wear gloves when tinting because our fingers have body oil, and sometimes that's what causes the bubbling. I mean, I don't want to get into a debate on that one. I just don't touch the adhesive, but if you wipe off your fingertips, you're not going to have an issue. You might have a little dirt on your fingers, though. So we're gonna slice off that side. So this is our side edge, right? We make that nice and straight. This is our top edge. We can continue that. You either freehand it, take a ruler, and just whoosh. Look, there's a little notch there. So we're gonna make sure that's even. Nice and even. Round our corner. Ta-da! And then we're gonna slice off the rest of this side. I like being able to feel the tint. So gloves, they just get uncomfortable for me. My hands will start to sweat. I don't like it. But I respect it. I have the biggest problem setting it when I install. We try and help as much as we can with it. A lot of people do. You're not alone. So now we're gonna split these apart. So we got 2 pieces of film for the time of 1. When you're hand cutting, that is one of the single greatest things that you can do to help speed up your overall time. Double cut. All right, we don't need this roll. So we're gonna put this in the back corner. So we got 5, and we got 15. If I put the 15 box back, then I'll mess up the driver's door and I'll have to get it out again. What one's this one? Apex. Let's put that into Apex. This is the Apex cabinet. That's a good spot for it. Goodbye. All right, let's shrink some windows. Why did you put the film on the outside? It'll go on the inside. We just need patterns and we need to shape them. It's easier to do that outside than inside. What's the best way to peel the plastic layer off of the film? Either fingernails, put the film on a nice flat surface with a little water behind it. It does help if you have nails. I need to cut mine. But I would typically do it with my teeth. So like this right here. Ta-da, it's peeled. I shift, like I have it liner facing down and I like shift my bottom teeth and I peel it that way. It actually took me a long time to peel film successfully with my fingernail. You like have to just keep flicking at it for a while sometimes until you get good at it. What glass set or what cabinet setup? So they're new age cabinets, nothing fancy. It's their Pro Series. And then I had the crazy idea of getting glass barn doors. So like it's a glass barn door, a glass shower door. Oops. And then I had a company come out. They took measurements. They took measurements and fucked those up, and then took measurements again and ordered the wrong hardware. And they took something that this was my original design, and then they made it complicated, and then we ended up doing what I had originally asked. They gave me all these like safety reasons and blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, ugh. Next thing you know, we're doing it this way, so. You can peel with the blade as well. That's true, you definitely could. I'd be way more likely to scratch or dent the film because I need to get the practice in for that one. You know what? Maybe I'll just try it. What floor tiles? Those are race deck. Oh my God, the car smell. I don't know if you guys can smell this car. It's got the smell from its era. Maybe that's the hole in the exhaust smell. What are you wiping with? So I have a 1-inch razor blade, and I use this to just help scrape the window. That loosens up dirt. And then I'll take a towel and then I'll wipe off the top edge of the window. The squeegees are what really do the cleaning. Because the towel will leave dirt behind and little lint pieces, but when I wipe a good squeegee over it, it's perfectly dry. The water carries all the dirt, moves it over here. Then I'll take another tool and I'll swipe that down, and then I'll swipe this down as well. Flush the sides, and we're ready to install. Okay, so for peeling, I would typically take my teeth, but if you leave, so I'll put it also on a flat spot, and you can take your fingernail and see, you see that? See how that didn't go perfectly right away? There we go, I got it. Sometimes I get it easily, and then sometimes I don't. All right, so for installing, somebody had a problem with installing, and we'll talk about it. First thing we want to do, leave it on your fingertips. My fingertips are kind of like in the halfway spot. And then we're going to focus on the left side first. We're just going to get the film up on the window. See how this is still just hanging back? I don't care about that yet. As I get the film up on the window, I can start pushing this up on there. It's still sliding around nice and easy. This is still hanging back a little bit, but look, I can take my hand away and shit's not just falling off the window. It's very controlled. See, look at that. What? That's crazy. So then I want to take this portion of the film, roll this up, and then I'm going to slide it into the seal. But everything here is flat, so it doesn't catch on anything. Goes into the seal, then come back on this side, roll this up, flatten it out a little bit, and then push it back into that seal. Da-da-da-da. Line up that top edge. Look at my, what is this? I'm getting, just from touching shit. Line that up nice and close. And we'll start tacking this in place. I'm really just focused on the top area of the film, like this bit up here, because we need to secure it. Sweep some of that out, take a card, swipe my edges out, and then we're gonna usually bump it just a little bit closer, and then we can make a harder pass. This handle lets me put a little bit more pressure on the window. Besides the 30 seconds it'll take, why not cover to protect the door? Like, why do you do it? Because we did it. And then we're gonna roll this up. Oh, let me roll it back down. So one thing I check for before I roll it up is I'll do a little wiggle test. And a wiggle test is just that. So I look at the top edge and I do this, and if it doesn't wiggle, then it's secured where it needs to be. Now I can roll it up. I let water run all over the door. I just use it to clean. I did that for a long time. On a lot of cars, you're never gonna have an issue. Chat freaks out if I don't cover up door panels. And there's a lot of door panels that I like to cover up too. It makes cleanup a little bit, like I'll tell you, after let me get through the rest of this install first. Okay, so I peel off the bottom, and then I'm gonna pull back that seal, And then I'm gonna tuck this corner, there we go, down into that seal. Then we're gonna jump over here and do the same thing. Pull that back, tuck that down into the seal. And then this slack or bulk, we pull up and now we have our slack up here. Then we come back over. There we go. Now that's all tucked. What if you don't have a shank? If you don't got one, get one. They're not expensive. You could use a fork maybe. Okay, here's the thing about not covering door panels. Most of the time it's perfectly fine. Your customer hates the idea of their doors getting wet. They actually hate the idea of watching water run all over their car and all that fun stuff. When you're behind the scenes, behind the curtain, and you're tinting in the back, and you tint a car, and you wipe it off, and make sure everything's good, nobody's gonna fucking know. But when you plaster this shit all over the internet, you get very much judged for it. So it shows a certain level of like care and professionalism. But to be honest, FPS tinter. This door panel could use a bath. Main thing is to cover up the switches. If there's fabrics, you would want to cover those up too, just because they take a long time to dry. So when you're giving a car back, it's nice if everything is dry and a fabric panel is not damp. Stained door cards will definitely show after 2 hours. Yeah, but like you're not staining them by getting tint water on them. You wipe them off, everything's fine. I'm not saying you can get every material wet, because there's a few out there that you shouldn't. I had a place stain a headliner. Well, that's just careless, because I'm not covering up a headliner. So some places will just go completely wild with water and prep and stuff like that. And then staining is unfortunate. The stuff that we're using, I'd argue it's not staining. It's more dust and dirt buildup even in the headliner. And then the water that rushes into the headliner then pushes that, and then it builds up somewhere. And then you notice a water line. Okay, so this is a 2012. Oh, because I have the Bronco selected. That's why. I was like, where did the year 2012 go? Ford. And then we're going to go to Taurus. I did all the doors by hand. I'm just going to say that right now. So don't beat me up about using a plotter for the back window. Holy, really? It's got that many options? What does it got 4 options? So this is the most popular. This one looks like, but this one also, what's this one? Dimensions 46 by 26. This one's 46. Okay, we'll just go with this one, whatever. So we're going to do that, and we're going to do the quarter windows together, which is the main reason why I jumped over to do this. It was just save me a little time on the whole rear. Look at that. See, I got that nice brake light cut out there, and then the quarters fit in there. Happy day. Okay, this is C2 ceramic, so we're going to do a blade swap. We're going to go to this blade. And then we're gonna go to this condition. And then we should be good. Now we click cut. And now while that's doing that, I guess I'll just stand and watch. No, I'll start cleaning off this back window. What software do you use? Core. Still using the same soapy water solution? How much did that cost? The plotter? That machine's like $7,500. You don't need the one that big for window tinting. You could get a less expensive one. And you could also just get a not so wide one, because that's a 60. I never throw a 60-inch roll of tint on there. Only up to 40. It's a Graphtec FC 7000. How much should paint cost on a car? I don't know, I'm not a paint shop. Where'd you get the program on the TV? From a website called Core. Search Core Tint software and you'll find it. Nowadays, to get that one, you need to be a actual tint shop, though. They're a little bit more strict. Do you like your job/work environment? No, and I'm gonna go complain to HR, which is me. How do you take off 13-year-old tint? With a steamer. Steamer's gonna be the best bet for removing old tint. What camera? I'm just using a phone. See? Look, there's a phone. See? Look, it's a phone. DAP or Core? DAP is for Expel dealers only. It used to be open to everybody, and then they locked it down. But Core has a significantly better interface. It does have PPF patterns, and they're egregiously expensive. Tint's $200 a month, and Tint and PPF together is $600. Ford Taurus, my beloved. Aren't they awesome? They're one of my favorite cars to tint. My only problem is no matter how much I keep it clean, I always get one tiny speck of dust. What can be done? You can rest assured that you are doing a fantastic job, and try to not let it get you down, because that's typically always going to happen. $200 a month for window tint? Yep. Well worth it. This guy been posting it for over 4 years now. I have videos that go back as early as 2011. $200 for tint only? Yes, $200 for tint only. Their patterns are very much worth it. So this goes with most business tools. Why do we pay monthly for window tint? Window tint software. Well, let me just make that clear. We're not applying patterns and charging the customer monthly for window tint. We're paying $200 a month to a database so we can streamline the tinting business. When you say patterns for tint, what's that mean? The shape. So a machine cuts out the shape. A software tells the machine what shape to cut out, and some meticulous human took the time to get the car, trace out the patterns, scan them, cut them, test fit them on the car, and they do that for every vehicle. So I have to pay monthly. Yep, tint software is monthly. $600 for tint and PPF, so it's $400 just for PPF, and it's $200 just for tint. And let me be clear, this is not my software. This is what I pay for software. Don't come yelling at me. I didn't do nothing. I've used really a lot of different softwares. It's well worth the money. It's just very good. Is ceramic tint better? Better than what? Better than a horse? I don't know. No shrinking on the quarters? Ah, they noticed. They noticed. I typically shrink everything. I would still shrink these a little bit. It's okay if you don't. Sometimes I don't. I don't know. It's rare. You caught me. Better than carbon, yes. We're just gonna keep going. Maybe until we're like, I don't know, I'm just being weird. There we go. No, carbon is not better. Ceramic's better than carbon. Yeah, we'll just keep going. Out to the road. I'm gonna get the full... I'm gonna tie like 3 hose sets together and I'm just gonna keep going until I leave the building. I just got a phone on a mag mount. It's not, like, see, you see that? It's not fancy. How'd you end up cleaning the hoses out? What worked best was vinegar. I was at a Home Depot, and then there was this like 6x strength vinegar, and I diluted it some, and it basically dissolved everything. Alcohol, 99% isopropyl alcohol was like a Band-Aid solution. Vinegar is better. I learned that. Would you say recording makes the shift go by faster? You know, it really does. Have you ever had the Flexilla extension cord fail I always took my brother's head off. No, I haven't. But they definitely pull fast, that's for sure. Same thing for the hose reel. It doesn't have a slowdown. So like if you let it go, it's taking this and it's whipping it around the shop. All right, so we're gonna wipe this off. How often do you clean them out? Very rarely. I hadn't cleaned them out for a year because I typically never have a buildup issue. So randomly one day, I just started seeing snowflakes in my work. And I took just a clear bottle and I sprayed this into it. And then it was like, holy shit, where did all that come from? And so I flushed it out, sprayed it again, and it was clear. And then the next day there was a bunch of snowflakes in it. So whatever was growing very fast. Vinegar solved it though. I haven't had that issue since I've used vinegar. I would probably do it every once in a while, but to be honest, I'm probably gonna forget. I'm gonna be like, oh, I need to do that again. Shit. Because I do too many other things and then I forget. You see, I'm not even that great at it sometimes. There we go. We got the corner. Do you ever put tint over tint? Rarely, but I have no issues with it. It just doesn't come with a warranty. All right, so we're gonna install this one. Talk a little bit more in depth about what's going on. So I'm focused more on this side first, and I let the shorter side just kind of hang back. So I want to roll this up and push this. Just make sure it's gonna slide. Push this into the seal. Then we're gonna come back over here and we're gonna take this part, we're gonna pull it back. We're gonna roll in that corner, right? And we flatten this out so it goes behind the seal. Then we push that into the seal. So I didn't fold it hard. I mean, a Taurus is pretty easy to tuck into because the seals, like look at how much space I got here. Look, I got so much space. A lot of cars don't do that. That's one reason I love tinting a Taurus. They just give me space. Then we're gonna squeegee off the top edge. And this is more of a lighter squeegee pass just to try and get it to tack some. And then that way we can fine tune it, bump it into place. Do you have questions? Do you answer questions? I have questions. Yes, yes we do. Card those bubbles out, and then I'm just going to make one harder pass. Do you heat up the top edge? It depends on if I've put too much soap in my bottle. So I'll show you what I look for. I made a couple of hard passes now, and this should be pretty tacked to the window. So I'm gonna give it a little wiggle. That's not moving. That's not moving. We're good to go. I don't feel like I have to heat up the top edge. If I wanted to be extra sure that this is not going to shift or crunch it back, then I'll absolutely heat up the top cornered areas. You can heat them up and dry them out. So we'll roll that up. And now we're getting to the bottom part. Rinse that out. Pull our liner. And then we're just going to mist the bottom of the film so that way it's wet. And then we got to tuck in a corner. So we're going to pick this up, pull back, and then see, we want to pull this all the way back until we get that really tucking into the bottom. Right about there, because we can't tuck in all the way because this is pushing on the panel. Then we're going to jump over to this side, do the same thing, pull that back, drag that down, and there, that looks better. So you can see this is starting to really push against the panel that's holding it. If that wasn't there, if your seal was out, if your panel was gone, everything's easy, super easy. But if you're tucking into it, it takes more steps. So we're gonna take this, we're gonna lift it up. So now we took that slack that was bunched up here and we moved it up here. So now it's just a matter of pulling the seal back and looking for any hang-up spots. I'll try and get as close as I can so you can see this well. And then we're just gonna pull the seal back and shuffle our tint below the seal. So we just pull it back. See, like this is a big hang-up spot right here. So we need to pull it and the seal back, and there it goes, drops below. Tuck that all in. So things that make that especially difficult, if I have my pattern cut way too far down. So if it's just, I'm trying to tuck in an inch, 2 inches worth of film, I'm gonna have a hard time. If my seal is especially tight, I'm gonna have a really hard time tucking in the film there. So the other way of installing is pulling out the bottom seal, and then you don't have to do any of that. But I've been doing it that way since I've started. So it's more of a hassle for me to remove seals than it is to just do that. If you're like, hey, what screws do I have to remove, or how do I pull the seal out? I'm assuming that you can just pop this back and pull out a seal. I couldn't tell you for sure. I don't know, I don't do it. So does all that water go into the door? It does. It goes into the door and then it goes straight through to the floor. And I will now illustrate that. So let's say we're parked outside and then it rains. Oh no, there's rain getting into my door. See, it all goes into the door. There's rain in your door right now. But they put drain holes in the bottom and then that drips out. It doesn't hurt electrical stuff on the inside? No, because if you look up a video, weep holes. I forget that people call them weep holes. There's a plastic barrier between this and the actual mechanical stuff happening inside your door. So when you roll your window down, that's going behind all this. Otherwise, as it rains in here, like your door switches would probably stop working. So you'd be like, hey, I parked my car outside in the rain and now my car don't work. It's rain in your door right now. Yes. So there's mold in your door. Yes. You guys think everything molds. You guys are, we're gonna have like a mold lesson. There could be. The truth is there could be. And you know, like your sink at home, there's probably mold all in the pipes around your sink. So yeah, to varying degrees, there's mold everywhere, somewhat. But I swear we're gonna have to have like a lesson on mold. Go take a cup of water, walk out to your car, look at your seals where you see there's holes here. You see there's holes here. Water's always getting into your doors. Welcome to my TED Talk. It's called rain paper. Wait, what? I work at GM. The plastic in between, the plastic that they put in between the door card and like the mechanism is called rain paper. Oh, there's my shank. I would like that confirmed by a GM employee. Because I've never heard that. That's awesome. We learn something every day. There's mold and there's bad mold. Bad mold takes perfect conditions. It's just like, there's like people that seem to, I don't know. It's just, yes, you're living in a sea of mold every day. You just don't notice. But it's okay. It's okay. Just don't think about it. Just keep living your life. You're good. Scroll to the next thing. We are mold. That's right. We're just mold. It's funny. Every time we start talking about water dripping into doors, it then stirs up like, so there's mold? It's like, it's just the same. We're on the same train every stream. We're just going around the same fucking responses. There's the mold station. You should do temporary tints on rentals. I did once. I think I tinted 2 or 3 of their cars. They're like, do you have something you could just put on the outside that costs less? And then we'll remove it in 2 weeks. It's a rental. Freaking drug runners. Be the mold. All right, so we're gonna clean off this one and install it. I tried to tint my own windows and it wouldn't stick. I had scratches all over the tint. Did you peel it? Or was it static cling? That happens to a lot of DIY people. They go to buy tint and they don't realize they buy static cling film. Static cling film is kind of garbage. It's not the same. All right, so we're gonna peel this. How much for all 5 windows? What vehicle? We're gonna spray this off, and then we're gonna mold some windows. I mean, tint some windows. All right, so we're gonna roll this side up first. Then we're gonna curl that in, flatten it out, tuck it into the side seal. Then we're gonna go to this side. We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna roll up the film, flatten it out, tuck it into the seal. Easy peasy. How many times are you gonna spray it? As many times as it takes. The thing is, dirt can come from so many little places. So anytime you just take something and squeegee it off, and then if I took the film and I pulled it back and laid it back down, this would be completely filthy. Even though I sprayed it a bunch and cleaned it a bunch. It's just everything's really sensitive. So when we squeegee along a window, we need to have some spray so the squeegees glide and it picks up that dirt and takes it off. This one's being real slidey. I'm gonna take a card that, card that. Okay, so now it's starting to grab. Give it a little wiggle. Okay, we'll do an example. This one's still wiggling a little bit. I can either wait like 30 seconds or so for it to really grab, and I can also take a heat gun and just be double sure. So I'm gonna take a heat gun, I'm gonna warm up the top corner. All this is gonna do is heat up the glass. And it's really gonna get that adhesive to grab the window. I'm gonna feel the inside of the window, make sure it gets hot. Ooh, I got a tool. Here, you guys wanna see something? TikTok sold me this. But we got visuals. Look at this little thing. So there's our window, and then we heated it up. That spot is 45°C right now. Yeah, 45°C. Just in those corners, really. I'm just gonna keep this handy. We'll see if we use it again today. Now we're gonna roll it up. Everything looks good. I was scrolling on TikTok, and then that popped up. I was like, oh, that's sick. There's probably something I'm gonna use that for. I have one that like plugs into my phone too, but I never use it. I'll check it out, hang on. I have no idea what it's called, but I'll find out in a sec. There we go. Check that in. You guys can screenshot that. I don't know. ANX Tech, something like that. If you're on TikTok, it'll probably just pop up in your feed now. Worked on a 98 F-150 and it was so difficult to clean the channel. You could try taping them, but when you get into stuff that's that old, they start doing weird things. So like there's a certain model year for vehicles where things get exponentially more difficult, and you just see them doing weird stuff. You're like, oh, that's not like the new ones. Oh my God, this car. Look at this. Just from touching this car, I probably smell like it too. It smells like exhaust, that's what it smells like. Are you not afraid of the water getting inside? Do you see, guys? We're just on that train. We're making that loop. We're gonna start talking about mold. You can buy a 5-pack of the gray triangles on Amazon for $10. They're not the same as the Easy Reach. I can guarantee you that. Why so many different squeegee? I only use the orange crush. Do you ever hand cut anymore? I hand cut all the doors on this one, thank you, except the quarters. I didn't hand cut those. Are you married? That's why you're at work all the time. Look here, guy. I'll have you know, we went on a hike. We had like 2 days this week, 9 a.m. Dropped the kids off. Do you know what we did? We spent the day together. We went for a hike. We got cider and coffee. Fuck you. I know. It's just funny because the same thing happens. Like, it's just a vicious cycle. Like, every time we tint a door window, somebody gets introduced to water being sprayed on the inside of the door, and then they're like, wait, so that means there's mold? And then we have a discussion about it, and then we tint another door, and somebody's like, hey, where does the water go? Why do we call this a tint instead of a shade? I don't know. It should be called window film and shades, yeah. But popularity takes over. If you got a plotter, why do you still hand cut? So it's always good to know how to hand cut. And hand cutting is a lot like tailor fit, specific to that car. Plotter cutting can be very good, but sometimes you can just have some variances that you could have fixed if you had hand cut them. So the most consistent, easy to do stuff off of a plotter, quarter windows and back window, because I have a border that I can tuck behind. Door windows now are still very good overall for the software that we're using. But there's a lot of people that don't have plotters. They want to see hand cutting. So I'll just skip back and forth between doing both now. Some of it's to show, some of it's because, hey, I want to hand cut that one. And then I'll have those days where I'm lazy and I'm like, I'm going to plotter cut this whole damn thing. I have a 69 Mustang. How much for all the windows? I don't want to touch it. I mean that in the nicest way possible. It's a beautiful car. They're super cool. I'm going to spend all day on it, and I just don't want to. You guys ask me what kind of cars I don't like to tint. It's old classic stuff that have a, like, this thing's been restored. I love it. It's my baby, and I respect it. And I just don't want that kind of stress. I want to do a Taurus where it takes me like 2 hours to do, and I'm good. I've done them 100 times. I want the McDonald's of cars right now. Just nonstop easy shit, please. You're lazy, bro, for not tinting that Mustang. You're not a real printer. That's fair. I've got a library of old difficult shit that I did. I've done like every year of Corvette. Some of them were like back to back. And you know all I got from doing them? Good job, looks great. I gain nothing from doing old classic cars anymore. I just get a day of time wasted. Like, do I like the results? Yeah. Am I proud of the work? Yeah. Does it take me longer than I'd like and then waste a bunch of film and then I have to charge a lot to do it? And then do I not see any real benefit from doing it in the end? Yeah. It's just bragging rights against old school tinters and I just don't care. What I get calls about every day is new shit. What about brand new vehicles? I do brand new vehicles on like every stream. We just did one of the new M5 competition touring BMW thing. We just did one of those. We do lots of new shit. New shit's worth learning. Do you know why? Because you're gonna get new shit because it's new. The old stuff is like, you might see one here or there. I have all the respect for people that want to do that. It makes no sense for me to do that anymore. Have you ever broken a window? Yeah, of course. Usually from doing something stupid. PPF? No, not yet. I've done PPF personally, but we don't do it here as a shop. What's your favorite vehicle to tint? This is in like probably the top 5. The Taurus, the Malibu, an F-150. I don't know, some easy Chevys. What's your favorite vehicle to tint? Oh, yeah, I just answered that. Ever done a VW e-tron? I don't even know what that is. No, I have not. We don't get very many VWs, thankfully. Why are you shrinking this larger piece but not the side pieces? We did shrink the side pieces, but I shrunk them well before I installed them. So typically right after I cut them, I'll lay them on the windows and then I'll shrink them. It's mostly out of habit. So the way that I tint a lot of vehicles is I cut them, I shrink them, I install them. And that's usually all in a row. So I would very regularly cut all the doors, shrink all the doors, install all the doors, just all back to back. What about F-150 windshields? They're not my favorite windshield, but pretty straightforward. Camrys are pretty easy. They're not my favorite though, because the quarter windows. Some of the Camrys have those gasket style quarter windows, which are stupid. That takes it down a big notch for me. If like a Nissan Altima would be in the list of really easy, enjoyable cars. I just don't get very many Nissans, so I forget about them. I'm typically not cheap enough for that many Nissans. I guess the Malibu is kind of like our Altima. I'm in the Sterling Heights area now, but tinted all my life in the Metro Detroit area. So the big 3 manufacturers were around here. So there was a lot more Chrysler, Ford, GM, all that stuff. So we get a lot of that. Detroit Tint Studio, 18 and Mound. Do you do water under the film before heating? Yeah, and I put dryer sheet and then I let it dry. So that milky fog, that is a dryer sheet that I smeared. It is sizing. It's molding. It's mold. It's more mold. We're molding the mold to the window. Are you tinting the outside? Yes. But if you wait long enough, we'll tint the inside. Is it possible to burn the tint? It's very possible to burn the tint. Tint burns really easily. Is Autobahn film any good? I don't have any direct experience, but I hear a lot of good things from the people that are using them. They're probably going to be a little bit more expensive. Not better, but more expensive. And they just have a different program, so they're more dealer territory focused. Geo is a little bit more open, free reign, so whatever fits better. I'm the mold man. Why do you tint the outside? Because I just want it to be different. Mold man. What happens when the tint burns? Then you redo the tint because it's fucked. Oh, there they are. There's the poles. I should have remembered that. On a Taurus, though, I don't know if it removes. Oh, this is good history. I remember this. They do remove. They're very snugged in here, though. You really have to get your fingers in there. There we go. Look at all this space. Oh, I love it. You see how much, look at that gap there at the bottom. I could park a car in there. Dude, I love this. Taurus. And I'm just gonna point this out before I get blamed for this. I didn't spray headliner and there's staining all in the headliner, okay? That's not me. Just gonna say that. Do you have to do it inside and out? No, but we do have to get a shape. And then once we get a shape and mold, lots of mold, then we'll install it on the inside. Do you guys go by appointments? Yes. Ew. Where's that? There it is. And then we got some golf back here. Oh, I know this one. This is an IKEA squeegee. I've tried this one. The Libman's better. All right. Let's pull this headrest too. There's one button. Ow, 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 ow. There we go. Oh, shit. We got broken glass there, too. Why don't you just open the trunk? For what? What? What did I say? What did I do? Why do people want me to open the trunk? I did open the trunk. The staining on the back is coming from the rear antenna. Oh, really? From that, huh? So the water is leaking and molding the inside. What? God, we got lots of mold going on. Oh, we got one of our Korea towels. The word of the day is definitely mold. All right, so let's clean off the inside. We're gonna grab a scrub pad. We're gonna grab a clay bar. We're gonna use some of these, not necessarily all of them, but we'll see as we go. Or we could grab one of these. Where's my bulldozer? Oh my God, I'm so messy. Here's a bulldozer. Let's grab that one. We don't need a side swiper. We don't need a tail fin on this one. This should be good. This is true. My Explorer did the same thing, had the antenna. Wow. I learned something new today. Thank you. So I'm going to keep an eye out on older vehicles for staining up here, and now I have something to tell them. I thought it was just because it was old, and that's true, but you see all this staining up here? It's from water leaking from up there. It's crazy. All right, so we're gonna scrub this down. This is the only bad thing about having a neck-mounted phone. It's because it's very hard to give you guys a good view. So much space for activities. The sprayer is a tint keg and acid is coming out of it. Another cell, silicon antennas. You're not wrong. What is a clay bar? A clay bar is this. So if you're using a scrub pad, like what clay bars do is they'll work the defroster lines a little bit better. And so you can use them like a scrub pad. And you see all this, that's what a clay bar pulls off your defroster lines. It doesn't ruin your defroster lines. It pulls off the buildup. Not the rust, what is it? See, you see all that? Yuck. Keep forgetting what the word was. Not tarnish. Tarnish is kind of right. Corrosion. Corrosion? Your defroster lines are copper. They're conductive, they're copper, so you're pulling oxidation, that's what I'm looking for. Yes! It basically pulls off the oxidation on the copper lines. How do you fix the black paint around the window if you happen to ruin it? That's just the nicotine in the defroster lines. That's a good one. Looking great. All right, and then spray the edges. And now we're ready to install. 10 out of 10. Chat's got some good ones. All right, is it this button? There we go. Okay, so we're gonna pick this up off the car. I'm gonna peel this. Can I? No! I need more hose. Let me throw this one in here. I thought I had more. Let me grab this one. This one I have too much of. So we're gonna peel this. Missed the back window. I'm gonna pick it up into the air. And then I'm gonna carry it inside. So to do that, I just go straight off of the car. You can pull it off of a board if you want. Do that, and then let it float. And you can kind of catch it in your arms. And you do one of these guys. You leave it nice and then we'll go inside with it. I'll switch the camera once I get some arms. But you guys wouldn't have a good view anyways yet. Okay. There we go. So this is where we're at. And we're gonna slide this down the back window. So I let it hang shy of the headliner and the brake light. Put some film up on the glass though, and then you can just keep sliding down. Reverse roller sending it. So on back windows, I almost always do it this way. Main reason is I didn't learn reverse rolling until way later. And on a back window, it's far easier for me to just go in this way versus unrolling it. On a windshield, those are bigger and at an awkward angle a lot of times. Come on, phone. There we go. It's creased, my dude. Oh, non-believer. It's not. I'll show you, don't worry. Can you tint a car window from outside? If you were here 5 minutes ago, you would think that we were doing the outside. If you learn reverse rolling early, a lot of people will reverse roll back windows still. Third brake lights make me not want to reverse roll any back window, the lower third brake lights. All right, let's go take a look. Are you using Expel? No, we're using something better. We're using Geo. What software and plotter are you using for pre-cut? So if I plotter cut them, I'm gonna use Core. Do you have a 25%? I wish. Geo needs to get a 25% and they need to get a 10%. Why is Squid Games playing in the background? It's that song, if you don't get to the phone before it stops ringing, you get shot. Why is Geo better than Expel? Because I'm going to spend less on film and I'm gonna get an overall just as good, if not better product. Have you been busier or slower this year? I mean, I'll just tell you, most places are gonna be slower right now. Part of it's the time of year. There's typically this type of slowdown, but just look at how many deals are starting to pop up on cars and how backed up inventory is. The whole economy is very stressed out right now. So you're gonna see less business in general. Any tips for tinting a VW Beetle? Show up, stay home sick that day. No, they're not super fun. The dude needs a car wash? Yes, he does. Dude, I'm getting filthy from touching things. Do you ever run into older cars where their doors won't stay open while you're tinting them? Yeah. Just with where our pricing at, we typically do not run into those types of things as much anymore. I wanted this job. I love the older Tauruses. They're just so straightforward. So even though this one's like, yeah, it's dirty. Yeah, it's got some things wrong with it. Dude, tinting it, so straightforward. 67 Beetle? Oh yeah, I would be one of the shops that would say no. Typically we start all the sides and the rear at $299. We'll do a front windshield for $150. And just being there and having films more expensive than that, we won't land a lot of jobs on cars like this. They just don't want to spend that kind of money on them, which I can't blame them. How much for a Model 3? Full back window is much more expensive. We'll do a half back window for pretty much the same price as any other vehicle. So we do it for $450 if you're doing a half back window. It would be $700 if you're doing a full back window. So that's everything with the windshield. Is it difficult to do a 13 Cadillac ATS? No, Cadillac ATS, very straightforward. Pretty flat windows too. Cadillac had this make everything flat and angled. Okay, what else was I looking for? Would you include an eyebrow? We'll do your eyebrows and we'll do your nails. a mani-pedi. Oh, no. Tint brow is not free. I want to do them myself instead of spend a few hundred to do them. I don't blame you. You might spend a few hundred on materials and tools. Eyebrow is always a funny thing. We always call them sun strips or windshield strips. Hearing eyebrow was always like, wait, what? It varies though. State to state, shop to shop. Everybody's got a different name for it. Tesla rooftop windshield. So the roof, which Tesla? Let's start with that. Because I'm assuming Model 3. Windshield, standard windshield pricing. The sunroof, it's already 2% and it's already ceramic. There's actually very little reason to tint it. Adding a layer of ceramic won't help. I have one, I drive it. It doesn't do anything if you add a layer of ceramic to it. But what I did do is I put an exterior reflective film. It's worth doing everything else though. What's your opinion on AutoZone tint? There's probably more money in the packaging than the actual film. Because they have to pay for shelf space. Everybody's got to make money on it. And so like they put all this, they have a pretty box that it sits in. I can almost guarantee you there's more money in the packaging and the shelf space than any of that material. Do you know the temperature of heat gun for vinyl wraps? Hot. So this goes for window tint. Most heat guns people are just gonna put on high. And then the way that you control the heat is with your speed and your distance. So I want this to get really hot so I always have heat when I need it, but I could keep it really close and do this. But if I slow down, I'm gonna burn myself. But if I stay out here, I can go a little slower, right? So you gotta learn your materials and you gotta learn how to hit it with the right amount of heat so you're getting it nice and warm without burning it. And with window tint, you're getting it a little hotter than that. You're actually melting the tint some, but you don't wanna burn it. So keep your heat guns nice and hot and just adjust your speed and your distance until you see the reactions that you need. Just trying to learn. I got a heat gun to practice with. Nice. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. You definitely will. That's part of learning. With vinyl, with window tint, with paint protection film, part of learning, unfortunately, is just wrecking material. Why the tape? Just a reminder, they can leave the windows up for a couple of days. So normal care instructions, leave your windows up for 2 to 3 days. If they did roll them down, I wouldn't care. If they ruined them, I wouldn't care, I'd still fix them. big stretch. There we go. I love that you tape the buttons. Everywhere that I've been to doesn't. You know, I used to be one of those people. I tinted for a lot of different shops, and I would constantly forget to tape buttons. It's very much sometimes not a routine for certain people, and you just don't think about the customer when you're not talking to them. So I tinted behind the scenes for a lot of different shops, but ever since I've had my own place, oh, come on, give me the little, I take care of a lot of those little things. OMG, is this a chop shop? If it is, it's a very nice one. Why didn't you clean the broken glass? Oh, under the headrest? Because I'm not getting into an interior detail. We just put it back to where it was. I mean, if we're talking about cleaning the interior, I think this one, I think it's safe to say this one needs a lot. How many cars do you average like weekly? It varies. Lately, we've been slower. Yeah, like, I think we'll be okay. How much to tint 4 windows on my car? What car? You just want to do doors? How much for 4 windows? Oh, I read that one. Lamborghini. Do you ever tint high-end sports cars? If we get inquiries about them. What I've learned is having a pretty shop doesn't bring in that kind of traffic naturally. I think nowadays you either have to be in the right area or you have to do a few more services that most of them want. Or you just have to network better. I think to get more of them, you need to be a PPF place. Because your PPF clients, they're the ones that are spending that kind of money on those types of cars. And they would, like, window tint for a lot of those people are more of an afterthought. They're like, I'm gonna get the whole thing wrapped. I might as well get the windows tinted too while I'm at it. It's just a checkbox. I have people flexing to me, they roll down the windows the first day and they are fine. Weird flex. Definitely a weird flex. They absolutely can be. If your install goes well, you should be able to roll them down. It's just nice to give them a little extra time because there's still going to be a little bit of moisture in between the film and the glass. Some adhesives aren't as strong as others, so having a little cure time is very much expected. Kind of funny that people would use that as a flex. What percent is that? So we did 5 on the rear, and we did 15 on the front. How can I do this? Ooh, should we? My microphone's probably not going to reach that far. And I'm actually not going to say something out loud. But we'll get this one outside and then you guys can see it. Oh, I gotta take a picture. I gotta take a picture. Is it this button? I never remember which button it is. We gotta take a picture for the Googs. Wow, it's not a good one. There, this looks better. Look, chat, you're gonna be on Google reviews. Is a little squeegee on your website? It is. For the Google reviews, duh. Man, I haven't not had a backup camera in a long time. Okay, we're gonna turn that back off. Squeaky, squeaky. What kind of car? 12 Taurus. Oh, I forget which button it is. Can you guys hear me? Are we still good? Let me check. I don't even know if my microphone's gonna reach that far, honestly. Surprised my headphone does. Oh, not quite. Okay, so you can hear me. Oh, that's cool. Okay, cool. So we can go check it out outside. It's a nice sunny day. Is on the front, and then the rear. Where those creases show the crease. Look, turned out clean, super clean edges, perfection. Voice is choppy. That's to be expected. Turned out nice. We're breaking up. Aww. Sad. It's got a long ways to connect. Not surprised. Alrighty. Well, that one went good. Okay, so this button is this one. Yes. Okay. Do you have a showroom? Yes, we do. You wanna see it? We'll show you. We can go over the films. You wanna book an appointment? Here, I'll set this one here for a minute. So these are the different films that we have. This is the one that we just installed. We did 15 on the front. We did 5 on the rear. So you can see how much they range. We have 70 all the way down to 5 in this one. And then this one goes all the way down to a 2%. Look at that difference. That's 5. It makes 5 look like 20. Go down to like a 2%. But this is our heat box. So I'm gonna turn this on here. And then we're gonna turn this box on. I'm gonna back up a little bit. So this is gonna be a regular film, a BTU meter, right around 300. It just means that there's a lot of heat hitting this meter right now. So if I block it with my hand, that goes away because I'm completely blocking the meter. A lot of heat, no heat. So when we go to C2 ceramic, which is this film right here that we installed, it drops all the way down to 80. So feel just a little bit of heat, but it's so much nicer than it was. And then Apex, that's gonna be this film right here. You can hardly feel anything. It dropped from 88 down to 40. So again, dropped in half basically again. 2% is the darkest we have, and that only comes in a carbon film from Geo. So when you're blocking out, I'll show you actually, when you're blocking out that much with carbon, carbon's actually doing a lot to also block some heat. So if we turn this on again and go back to this film, see our meters at 300. And then I'm gonna put this on here. We're gonna drop the 2% in the way. And what do we got? It's down to 48. So the 2% performs like a high-end ceramic because there's so much carbon in there. Somebody asked this earlier today too. 5% carbon, we're down to 80. So 5% is basically very similar to installing the C2 ceramic there. And then here, let me move this a smidge. So we go 2%, 5%, and then 15. See how it jumps up to 125? So the lighter that the carbon is, the more heat that it's gonna let through. And then ceramics, let's jump over to the C2, give that one a try. 5% C2 is gonna block out a little bit more. 15, 90, and then we got 20, and then 35. So it's gonna range based on a little bit of the shade that you do. And then with Apex, this is going to be a dual layer ceramic. So 5% Apex, we're down to 30. 15 is 29. 20 is 35. Like, you're just going to get the most out of this one. But C2 is still really good. It's what our best value is right now. We used to carry Pro Nano in its place, but we like the color consistency of C2 way better. So it's still gonna block a lot of heat for you. Sick. Alrighty. I gotta let this customer know that they are all set. Apex is the best and the most expensive. So it's 2 layers of the C2 ceramic combined, basically, is what it is. Okay, where's this customer? Saturday. What? Hang on one second. What? Oh, this was the one. Oh, I should have canceled this one. Canceled. Oh, I was so confused because I had another one scheduled for today. I'm like, when did that happen? Okay. To get Apex all windows on the Cadillac, do you want to do everything with the windshield or without the windshield? Yeah, so there originally was a Civic. He canceled, and I completely forgot that he canceled. I forgot to click the cancel button, so we just had the one for today. I replaced the Civic with the Taurus, but because I'm streaming, I forgot. Do you have a brand of tint to use for beginners and novice window tinters? Personally, no. Geo is a great film. You can use it as a starter business. It's just more professional films are going to be a little bit more expensive anyways. But there is a cheaper film that I can recommend that you can find on Amazon just for, hey, I just want a lot of film that I can waste. It's about $100 a roll. It's called T-View. With the windshield, so Apex is going to be the absolute best. Keep that in mind. So your Cadillac would be $450 in carbon, $550 in the C2 ceramic, or $650 in the Apex. I should get an affiliate commission from them. I've been using Northern Tint. I've heard that mentioned a couple times. Let's see. This is one like I personally tried out. A 2 mil or a two ply 1 mil. I haven't tried it in a while though, but like a 36 by 100 foot roll of film for $85 is really hard to ignore. That's very inexpensive. So when you're practicing with something, you obviously want it to be as inexpensive as possible, but you also want to look for dyed films. Cheap carbons and cheap ceramics, they just have always been annoying to shrink. So it's not that you can't learn how to shrink them, it's just it makes it more difficult. So these were always just inexpensive dyed films that were relatively user-friendly for practicing. So I like those. Nice. Can you get closer? Yes. Sorry, let me see my view here. There we go. T-View. T-View. Could you do a YouTube review on Northern Tint? I've wanted to do film reviews. They just don't make as much sense. I mean, maybe. The thing about like just window films that annoys me the most is I never know how long they're gonna last. So it's somewhat easy for a film company to put out a junky film that like it looks fine, it shrinks okay. You just never know how much it's gonna last. So like there's legitimate reasons why certain films cost what they do. It's not just because they charge more. It's because certain materials cost more money to produce. So, I mean, most of the time those reviews are like, it's gonna look okay, it's gonna shrink okay, it's okay, I don't know how long it's gonna last. So I wish I had some better ways of measuring the little things, like how long it's gonna last. how clear the window film is. That would be nice to actually put on an actual measurement rather than just like in a garage. It's going to look fine. If we pull it outside, it's hard to tell how hazy something is on camera. So if we could quantify and measure some of those things a little bit better, I'd probably do something and then want to do a bunch of stuff, but it's a lot of work. What do you use to switch the views? Yeah, OBS. So I have, oh, the other one's over here. So I've got 2 different phones that are both streaming to the computer. So if I push this button right here, it does a switcher. Sorry, that was the wrong button. If I do this button, see, and now you're on this camera, and I can do this. So it's cool. So I can just set this up here. I can walk away, and then I can change the cameras. Wow. These are kind of cool, though. I tried to do this in software. This works out way better, though. There's these little switches called switch bots, and they're actual mechanical switches. So they're just literally stuck here. And when I push a button, see? Here, I'll do number 2 again. See that little thing that goes in there? It like physically pushes the switch. They give me this little remote, this little thing that I put here. What mic do you use? I use a Rode mic, and that's hooked up to this. The main reason I got this is so I could delay my audio just a little bit. So the wireless cameras, they have a video delay. So you actually have to slow down your audio a little bit. And so this slows down my audio so it matches the video. And then I also have a Taco Bell button. And then I have the Doom button. O'Reilly's Gila hard to shrink? Could be. I haven't touched it in a while. A lot of those films only come in short rolls, though. Do they have longer rolls now? Now I need Taco Bell. I know, right? They should. Can we get Taco Bell as a sponsor? They'll be the only one. And I'll be happy to hit that button literally every minute. We'll stream for 3 hours, and I'll hit this button 300 times. This is sponsored by Taco Bell. Dong. Gonna hop off. Thank you for teaching me new things. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. I'm actually gonna hop off too. I got the customer coming to pick up their car. I'm gonna make sure they're all typed up. But that's gonna be my day today. Thank you for